Now, moving on to the process of unframing and new framing of the paintings. As I said, this was really tough because the process is started by unframing of silk paintings, which one who knows are very fragile, and a wrong decision at one point of time is really going to destroy the painting. This was always done under the observation of trained conservators and assistants, and used to remove the glass, mounts, boards, nails, and pins cautiously without damaging the painting. And then the painting goes into process of conservation. Again, trained conservators of the museum cleaned and painting surface with solvents. Afterwards, they changed the earlier material, which acted as a barrier to prevent moisture, and added new base materials like acid-free mount, TAEBAEK sheets, Japanese tissues, etc. And after a week or so of resting and drying and being stable, the silk paintings then goes to their respective frames, which adds more grace to their already existing charm. The frames have glasses of special qualities, which I shared with you, like UV radiation free, reflection free, lightweight museum glasses. So this is the process of opening of the earlier frames. Now you can see these are some of the paintings from Astana, where ladies have been shown in a garden. If you look at the frames, which are clearly visible on the left hand side, then these are special frames which are having embeddings of gold leaf into it. So we have not stopped by investing into protecting these artifacts by conservation, or by giving them the best look available which we can add on to them. So on the left hand side is the empty frame, and in the middle you can see when it has been framed and then properly sealed, so that when we are going to display in the gallery, then only we are going to remove the cover and then put it on display. And on the right hand side is the final product or end product. Directly it has been photographed, but you can't see the reflection of the flash. So that is the beauty of the glass which has been placed on the top of these paintings. Because earlier I used to get lots of complaints that there are reflections. Professor Yamabe is one of the witness. He used to travel with his huge bags and used to request, Mr. Sahay, can we take out the glasses so that I can photo shoot it clearly? But that was not always possible, or it was almost impossible. And now these are the key gallery showcases. So here is the variety of objects which would be shown. And this is one of the objects in this key gallery which I was sharing, is from Iran, Buddha with his 6 disciples and some other artifacts. But here you can notice that here the museum glasses has not been applied onto these paintings. These are going to be. Now on the right hand side you can see one of the objects which comes from Astana. On the left is a painting from Dunuan, a Westerner figure, and on the right is a lady horse rider, and you can see the aristocratic behavior which is coming out from her appearance. The way she is riding the horse with confidence and having a hat on the top of her head. One important feature which you can notice, all Indian ladies can notice, is a small dot on her forehead. So this practice was basically introduced into China according to some scholars, came through Japan or came from Japan. Now, some other artifacts which you can see is this particular figure on the right hand side, the almondite bodhisattva head is one of the artifacts which is very close to my heart. Very simple but very elegant. And on the left hand side, you can see Avalokiteshwar, which has been depicted in wood. But if you see closely, then you can see some of the features were tried to be copied from silk paintings. Now, these are the three figures, animal figurines, which are called tomb guardians from Astana. So these are going to welcome you if you come into the gallery at the entrance. Now, some tiles from Bhutan. Then perhaps shoes are the artifacts which are quite neglected when we try to understand the art objects from any civilization. But to understand the Central Asian and India connection, we have to understand the importance of shoes, of course, because monks traveled thousands and thousands of miles to study with the help of these shoes. So we have to have a gratitude towards these shoes who helped the Buddhist monks or the travelers or the artisans to travel on the sand dunes from India to Central Asia or other places. These are some of the ritual shoes which are made of paper and which came out of the graves of Astana. Then some other important artifacts in textiles which came from different places like Lulan, Astana. Some more important artifacts. If you see the bird on the top left corner, then these artifacts are dated to 3rd century AD, but some of the experts doubt whether they can push it back to 2nd century BC. So examination is going on. And on the bottom right hand side, you can see some of the important traits of Sasanian art. Sasanian art is indicated by the roundels and the bird motifs or animal motifs enclosed within. Although I personally feel that it is still slightly debatable, because we are yet to really conclude, because various theories are coming out, and these Sasanian roundels, which we say, are coming out from different places and from different time zones also. Now, these are some of the artifacts from Nia. One on the top, you can see where the flowers are coming out, flowers and leaves are coming out from a vase, is basically the door jam which was placed in the entrance of one of the sarays of Nia. So it was huge. So Orelstein had to cut it into 3 pieces to transport it. And on the bottom right hand side, you can see some of the Kharosti documents, very important documents, not very elegant to look at, but very important to throw light through the writings on the Central Asian art and culture. Some more artifacts. Now, this is the BEZEKLIK caves, which is very close to Turfan region or in Turfan region. where again thousands of caves are located in the area and have huge murals or wall paintings. So one of the galleries which we are going to really dedicate is a BEZEKLIK wall paintings, and came from the caves over there. So when I was traveling to BEZEKLIK caves last year, along with uh, one of my director generals, Dr. B.R. Mani, and assistant director, Mr. Nath, and a young assistant curator, I wanted to see those caves from where the artifacts had been, or the basically murals had been taken away by Orelstein. But to my great surprise, I was not being allowed to go into that cave. But then I protested. I sat down on the floor and said, "No, I want to see these caves from where Orelstein had taken away the wall paintings to understand that how it had impacted that particular cave." Uh, and I can share here that I almost started throwing tantrums that I can say. So reluctantly, the Chinese officials agreed to show me one or two caves after that. But yes, it wasted our at least half an hour time. But I got satisfaction that I was able to see the cave from where Orelstein took away those wall paintings. So this is some introduction about the BEZEKLIK region. The Thousand Buddha caves are one of the important sites in the region that provides the numerous archaeological aspects of a long history of the region. And among these caves found in Turpan, basically caves are considered most valuable. The one reason was Silk Road, owing to its geographical political location, and it was the royal temple of uh, the predecessor of today's Uyghur state. The inscriptions written in ancient Uyghur, Chinese, and other languages were found at the site, giving the evidence of the era. And of these original 83 caves, 57 remain. In addition, the murals cover an area over 1,200 square meters in more than 40 of them. So, Buddhism in Turpan began to decline in popularity with the introduction of Islam. Subsequently, the religious importance of the BEZEKLIK Buddha caves became less apparent. The murals are life-size and mostly depicts the Jatakas, Buddha preachings, and life-enlightening stories and scenes. So these are some of the BEZEKLIK caves in the present day. So you can see some of the empty spaces. So from there, the wall paintings were taken out. Most of them are in different museums of the world. Some of them are here in National Museum, New Delhi. Some of them are in British Museum. Some of them are in Berlin. And a good quantity is in Hermitage. So in Berlin Museum, during the Second World War, when the Russians attacked, then they took the Berlin's basically artifacts as war booty. And the current gallery is planned to display wall paintings. I am talking about basically gallery, which are exclusively from the site. And these paintings are huge in size and will be displayed according to a theme. Initially, these would be showing the Parinidhi scenes of Buddha, the Dakinis, Hindu gods and goddesses, other scenes of daily life, court scenes, monks, devatas, would be following to show the rich cultural legacy in the form of wall paintings of BEZEKLIK. And in the end, the scene of the great departure. So after the conservation work is started, display has been started simultaneously of the conserved paintings, and the weight of one fragment of size is 11.5 kg. That is 34 into 20 inches, while others weigh somewhere around 16.5. So this requires considerable labor And on a rough estimation, 110 fragments are estimated to be displayed within 220 working days. So this was a rough calculation which we did. So now this is the plan and elevation of displaying BEZEKLIK things. So this was the proposed plan for Central Asian Antiquities Gallery, but specifically to BEZEKLIK paintings. Now this is another display system which we planned. Now this is proposed display system. Now Sharma ji will recollect, this is the wooden frames which were placed in the galleries to display all these wall paintings. But we had to remove all these. And all these are in pure teak, wooden sleepers. Now these are the new steel frames which have replaced the earlier wooden frames. Now this is the way that we are hanging the wall paintings. So we don't have a really luxury of too many people at the museum. So we had to hire some agency who handle the artifacts, and some additional people were hired for especially these galleries, because as you know, all the institutions, we are also struggling with manpower. So there I got the support of administration, and the people not in red t-shirt you can see are the additional manpower hired for this gallery. And this particular piece which you are seeing is not less than 80 kg. So this is the way we are working, slowly and slowly mounting. Then the person on the right hand side in white coat is a conservator. But I must salute him for his dedication of work. Unless and until we have conservators of that caliber, that commitment, we can't handle a project like this. So these are some of the other things, how the gaps are filled. The gaps have been filled, and you can, if you look at very closely, then you can make out a thing that yes, there is crack, or there are two pieces which have been joined. Otherwise, if you see, then at one side you can't really feel the cracks or feel the lines. Now this is the final outcome. So when you see the one on the left hand side, so this is the result when we are using the conserved wall paintings. All the cracks have been filled. The light or illumination given to this painting is through projected lights. Then the result is, I can say, is really good. I won't say awesome, because I feel that this is a project of National Museum. Then the appreciation is to come from others, not from my side. And on the right side of the screen, you can see other frames also coming up. So this particular figure is Buddha's figure is called Parinidhi scene, and she was ascribed to as Buddha taking a vow to rid people from misery and let everyone attain the Buddhahood. So he is a Buddha of vow, which has been which is going to dominate this gallery. Then some other artifacts from BEZEKLIK, which shows the Dakinis. So if you understand, then it would be really good to know that anyone is having two aspects. One is positive, other is negative. So the Buddhist philosophy always says, so these are the Dakini figures, although benevolent in nature, but they can become really tough and be difficult to believe. and they are shown here in a very unorthodox manner. Some other figure, like on the left hand side, you can see a Dakini figure on fish. And now moving on to the next gallery, which is dedicated to Dunhuang. So Dunhuang gave National Museum enormous range of incredible and astounding silk paintings. So that's why we decided that we have to give it due honor in a separate exhibition. And that shows the marvelous silk paintings and some other antiquities from Dunhuang. And it includes scenes of Buddhist paradise, Bodhisattva, Avalokiteshwar, Vajrapani, Padpani, Buddha Trinity, Lokpals, Dharmpals, etc. Vyasa as well. The antiquities also include some of the terracottas and painted stucco objects. So these are some of the silk paintings from Dunhuang. Now, on the right-hand side, this is not a painting. This is an embroidery done in chain stitch and really of very high caliber. A British Museum has only a small fragment of this particular Thousand Buddha scene in their collection. Now, these are some of the painted stucco objects from Dunhuang, monks holding manuscript. Now, in Gallery 4, we are going to showcase wall paintings from other sites, as I shared earlier. And there we are going to show some of the really outstanding wall paintings, which came from Miran, Toyo, Karakoto, etc. Balavaste, yes, of course. And one of the most famous painting from Farhad Beg Yelaki, which shows a figure of Hariti. And textiles from Lulan, Astana, etc. Sorry, etc. So this is a very important artifact, or both of these, which comes from Miran. Now, wall paintings like this are really copying the textiles in great details that I can share while I was studying the textiles from various sites in the National Museum collection. Now I move to the other very important project where India is positioning itself as the nation which has got the credit to have Buddhism in its cradles. And the Buddhism traveled from India to various countries. And right now, some of the schools of Buddhism are taking roots in almost 192 countries of the world. So that is the importance of Buddhism in today's scenario. And it required great effort at the center to have something like this. We got an opportunity when ASI vacated their space. So there were a few problems attached to the building. Building was a declared heritage building, so we were not in a position to do away with it. So it had to put to some use. And it has got a mystic connection to Central Asian collection also. The first Central Asian Antiquities Museum was established in that building only in 1935. So I got mystically connected to both these projects. And now the building is almost ready to host the exhibits from National Museum. And we have selected artifacts which range from stone, bronze, terracottas, votive objects, ritual objects. So through the collection, we are going to get a glimpse into the life of Shakyamuni Buddha, the celestial presence of Panch Tathagatas, and the Bodhisattvas. And we are going to display more than 250 art objects in 7 dedicated galleries, focusing on the religious significance, transnational heritage, and the continuity of Buddhism as a living tradition. These are based on a diverse selection of themes associated with the life of Sakyamuni Buddha, tracing events from birth to enlightenment to sermons, miracles, and Mahaparinirvan, Buddhist celestial realms of bodhisattvas and the deities, sacred rituals, and cosmology. And we are going to visualize the divine through Thankas, homage to Buddha relics, and the spread of Buddhism across Asia, highlighting Buddhist art traditions in Central Asia, Far East, Mongolia, and Southeast Asia. And we are going to do it with the in-house collection of National Museum. So this multifaceted and multidimensional approach is going to take it to understand the continuity of Buddhist tradition emanating from India to other Asian countries. That is going to be the central force behind the Buddha Museum. And it is going to be seen through the masterpieces in the National Museum collection. And the exhibition focuses on the religious and didactic aspects of Buddhist heritage in India, which is going to give us a new outlook on its spread, development, and cultural synthesis over centuries. So this is a map which shows the spread of Buddhism. And now I'm sharing with you the floor plan of ASI building. Now, this is the ASI building when the DG office of ASI was vacated. Then this was something like this in this situation. Now, the renovation work started. All these are happening during the pandemic period, like during the time after July 2020. And then the entire roof was removed and was to be redone. Since it was a heritage building, so it was not possible to demolish it. Now this is the look which is coming up, or which is the photograph was taken yesterday. So this is yesterday's photograph. Now we have started shifting the artifacts over here in the galleries. Now the light you can see, the AC fittings or the AC ducts you can see in the ceiling. So this has given us an ample scope to display some of the huge thankas, which are as big as 3.5 meters and width is more than 4 meters. So that thanka is going to be displayed over here, because in our present National Museum building, we don't have that height in any gallery. And these are some of the artifacts. So we are going to display some of the artifacts from Mongolia, from Central Asia. So from Central Asia, of course, we are going to use the Central Asian collection of National Museum. Then one of the thankas which I was mentioning, its height is 3.5 meter, Yamantak from Tibet. So both are of almost same dimension. Now, without conservation team, can we really go for these kinds of exhibitions or these kinds of activities? I personally feel, as a curator, I will say no, a big no. But the situation is alarming and very difficult. How to arrest this downgoing situation, I don't know. For that, any administration has to really give us a solution. Now, why I am showing this? This is the conservation lab. If all the elders might remember where Mr. S.P. Singh used to sit. So this is that conservation laboratory where his chamber or other people's chamber has gone, and it has been converted into a big, huge hall. So it's a open space from end to end. And with some of the new instruments, we are starting on a new path of conservation. So we have only two conservators on regular payroll basis at the National Museum. Rest of the people whom you see are on contract basis, and their contribution in forming or in making of all these galleries are immense. uh, I really feel that I must pay a gratitude to all these youngsters uh, who are really dedicating their time with commitment. I would also like to share here that we have a schedule of 5 working days in a week. As per the central government rules, which came into enforce at National Museum in 2019, perhaps, we are working 5 days. But right now, to accomplish all these given tasks, all of us are coming to National Museum at least 6 days in a week, sometimes 7 days in a week, so that we can meet the deadline, or we can really accomplish the task as quickly as it's possible. So my main aim was to really share with you that during all these troubled times, how we were trying to unfurl the flag of National Museum to let people know that pandemic is one point, but if we want to work, we can work. We can't hide behind any excuse. So these are some of the conservators who are working in the conservation laboratory. The one on the left hand side you can see is working on a wall painting. And you can see some of the latest equipments which are installed in the lab, like fume extractors. You can see that is very much visible. And this is a view of conservation lab from outside. So like Sharma ji, KK Sharma ji and DP Sharma ji can see that how the outlook from outside has also been changed of the conservation lab on the second floor. And on the left hand side also they can see some work is going on. So that lab is also almost totally renovated, and we are going to get that space within 2 to 3 days. And now I'm going to contribute. The artifacts that have been chosen for the exhibition depicts the development of art form and various practices followed in the region, from the religious perspective to the daily life objects, and even of the beliefs of life after death. These objects are the result of religious perspective, but are a combination of secular realities of different corners of the world. Also, the objects are not limited to the male dominance, but are reflection to the whole society. Indian philosophies and theories that traveled along with Buddhism radiates in the aesthetic appeal and artistic language of the artifacts. The artifacts used in the exhibition delineate artistic and aesthetics evolution, like proportion, perspective, different material, technique, balancing of natural colors, mineral colors, and other pigments, etc., which was carried throughout the centuries. This epic journey of Buddhism to China from India led the powerful cross-cultural experience that remains the basis of long history. And a big thank you. But at the end, I would like to add a few points that these are not the only projects in which we are working right now, but another project which has been finished with the help of IIT Mumbai is creating a gallery based on the AR and VR technologies with the help of IIT Mumbai. And it is one of the iconic gallery which is going to attract visitors a lot. So once it opens, if you see it, then you can feel it and appreciate it. So this is one. Another, we are going to get extension, or already work is going on, get extension into 2 barracks of Red Fort, where we are going to display all the artifacts from arms collection of National Museum and anthropology collection of National Museum. So this is the new journey on which National Museum is going to really embark on. Thank you very much.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर, बहुत अच्छा आज का आपका व्याख्यान रहा सर। सेंट्रल एशियन आर्ट और आर्टिफैक्ट को जिस तरह से कंजर्व किया जा रहा है, उसे जिस तरह से शो किया जा रहा है, प्रदर्शित किया जा रहा है, जिस तरह से उसका डिजिटलाइजेशन किया जा रहा है, ये बहुत सराहनीय कार्य सर आप लोग कर रहे हैं। इस कोरोना पीरियड में हम लोग तो घर में रहे, लेकिन आप लोगों ने बहुत प्रशंसनीय कार्य किया है सर। बहुत बहुत अच्छा लगा सर आज का आपका ये व्याख्यान। अब मैं हमारे जो भी यहाँ पर जो भी श्रोतागण हमसे जुड़े हुए हैं, गणमान्य व्यक्ति जुड़े हुए हैं, अगर सर के व्याख्यान से संबंधित अगर कुछ बातें करनी हो, कुछ कहना हो उन्हें, तो वो सादर आमंत्रित हैं।